Alex Pittman. Jonathan Thomas. Knocked out around by Connecticut. Jasmine Thomas. And please welcome to the court the exciting Paso de Oro.
And entrepreneurs in Southern California. Let's give them a round of applause.
Today, Ogumake. Sine Ogumake. Yeah. Sports basket. Jasmine Thomas. All right. Three-pointer Alex Bibb. Yes, yes. Nicholas Parker. Assist Ogumake. T-Set. Two-pointer Alex Bibb. Timeout, Connecticut.
Yeah. So good. Summertime, baby. All right, I need everybody on the team. We got a timeout. Let's get it. Let's have some fun. Everybody on your feet dancing with me.
Negrita de mis pesares, ojos de papel volando, negrita de mis pesares, ojos de papel volando, a todos diles que sí, pero no les digas cuánto así me dijiste a mí, por eso vivo penando. Tierra mía, tan hermosa y tan bravía. Con el alma yo te canto esta
Hey, dancing. Let me see it. Here we go. Hey. You got it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see the dance move. Let me see it. What she's got. Get it, mommy. Get it, mommy. Let me see you dance. Let me see it. Let me see the dance move. Let me see it. All right, we need you loud and proud. Let me hear some.
A Connecticut Municipal foul has been charged to number 25, Alyssa Thomas. That's her fifth personal foul. First in the last 2 minutes. Sine Ogumake.
Okay, speaking with Essence Carson, we begin to just initialize her EC, at least when I make my writing notes during the game. It's a jump shot or a drive or a good play by EC. Essence Carson, and welcome to our program, Essence. Good to see you.
Oh, man, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Not a problem. We are making our rounds here to meet all of the Sparks for this historic team. It's a historic team in all senses of the word, as you know. And you guys are on a mission. You're on a roll. You're on a victory ride, and it's a good one. Tell us how you feel so far in the season.
I feel great. You know, we have a lot of great chemistry. As you know, there's a lot of great individual talent on this team, but you know that can you can always have great individual talent. The thing is, how can you put that together? And we've done a great job so far of putting it together and making it work, and people making sacrifices, and everyone playing their hearts out. And the most important thing, getting wins.
Absolutely. The incredible pace you're on, obviously into the playoffs, but that's down the road. Right now, you're taking each opponent as they come. But as we've been watching you play here, and it's been a great fit, beautiful, beautiful contribution as a starter now. You come in, you do what your role tells you to do and what you do for the team and what Coach Agler tells you, but of course, or instructs you. But again, it's coming out just right. Tell us the chemistry that you've established here with the Sparks.
I mean, the chemistry that's established here already. I mean, it was just really easy. You know, we have a lot of individual players that have great basketball IQ, and you know, when you have that, it's easy to build chemistry really quickly. And you know, I mean, it was just easy for me to just slide right in there and you know, just play ball.
And you've been crafting your trade here as a professional player in the WNBA. It's very historic again in league sense. It's 20 years. Yes. And 20 years ago, you might have been looking up at some of the role models at that time. And we did believe that Lisa Leslie was here courtside. What did that mean to you to look up and see her playing and watching you play?
Oh man, I mean, when I was young, you know, the WNBA was just, you know, starting. It gave me, you know, something to aspire to be, you know, outside of what I wanted to be, you know, coming out of the academia world. But as an athlete, it definitely gave me something to aspire to become. So 20 years later, you fast forward, and I'm here, and it means a lot. It's like, wow, you know, it's like every day you're waking up, and it's like continuously, your dream is coming true, continuously, and you just try to, you know, be a good role model and play good basketball.
Essence, tell us where the passion, the spirit, the love of the game came from. Was there someone in the family, a good parenting, a big brother or sister somewhere that told you, hey, look into basketball, get with it?
It wasn't necessarily anyone that told me to look into basketball. It was just more so naturally where I came from, where I'm born and raised, East Coast, Patterson, New Jersey. You know, that was just something that every kid in the neighborhood did. We played basketball. That was just like our pastime. And you know, my father played basketball when I was younger. So it came naturally, and I just decided to take that route, and it worked out well for me.
Okay, and Rutgers. Okay, so you stayed home for college, basically. How did that work out for you?
It worked out really well. Staying at home in Jersey, you know, it wasn't really about staying at home for school. It was more so about getting a chance to play for a legendary coach like Coach Stringer, getting that type of tutelage, you know, on the court and then off the court. She was definitely a great role model and a mother figure, and you know, you just learn a lot about life, and that was my main reason for going there. And
a quick word of advice to all the young ones that are watching us, or watching you and the Sparks, and watch what we present on our website. Words of wisdom and advice for the young ones that are loving the game or falling in love with the game now.
Oh yeah. I guess I can say, you know, just continue to work. You know, blood, sweat, and tears. It takes a lot. You have to sacrifice. You just have the will and determination, and it doesn't always matter where you came from. It's more so important where you end up.
Essence Carson, we thank you very much. It's not the last time we'll speak to you again. There's a lot more season left, and we will be back to chat with you again.
Thank you
very much, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, here we are in the big win here for the Sparks, 80-73 Connecticut Sun. They were the most recent victim, and now with the 12-1 record, I believe 13-1. I stand corrected, 13, because yes, 12-1. It was the redemption game last Friday against the Lynx with a big win. Come home now to the fan base here. Oh, Let me go back to ask just a minute before I break. I forgot to mention the Latino heritage, what that meant to the players and to the community as you took the court and played.
Oh, I mean, it definitely was a great night. Definitely a big night. It means a lot to the community, especially out here in LA. I mean, of course, across the nation, but especially here in LA, very big part of the community. A lot of our a lot of our supporters. So why not give back? And it definitely means a lot to us, the Sparks organization, the whole community of LA County, LA City, the city of LA. I'm learning a lot about the area out here. So thank you. And thank you. Oh no, it's a nice little outro music. And we fade to black.
Of course. Essence, thank you so much for being with us and giving us a chance to meet you and greet you personally.
Oh no, thank you for having me again.
Okay, here we go. We're going to now try and catch up to the coach for the post-game comments here on East LA Sports Scene. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are with Chiney Ogwumike, and it's been a while. We saw you last as an NC2A Division I Stanford All-American player, and many things have happened since you transitioned into the pro game, and today is a memorable day. You played against sis.
I know, it's always fun playing against my big sis, but more so it's a symbolic thing because she's the one who helped me when I came back from my injury every day, supporting me. So just to be out there and to play against her on her home turf, even though it felt like a home game because the fans were sort of cheering for me too, which is sort of nice. But it was good. It was a good experience. It's always fun, and then afterward we get to hang out.
And a nice crowd tonight.
Yes.
You're on the road, but you're in Sisters' home turf.
Yes.
And it's another big game because the WNBA, and as you know, the Sparks are on a big roll.
Yeah, they're on a big roll. I mean, they got a huge win against Minnesota, and we knew that they're going to come in with high confidence. And for us, a team that is sort of trying to find our way right now, it was important for us to, really play confident as well. And we definitely did. It's just that they made those winning plays down the stretch, especially in the third quarter, and then in the fourth, they made some big plays. Yes. But as a young team, we can learn from that. I'm really proud of our effort. We played really hard tonight.
As it was touch and go, nip and tuck for most of the game. A lead here and disappeared, but then they got a lead. It was back and forth, but a very good, entertaining game to watch. And with the matchup, I think at one point you might have went down and felt maybe a little twinge on your knee. And Big Sis comes right over.
Of course, I heard her voice in the back like, Chiney, are you okay? Chiney, are you okay? I was like, go to your team. Go to your team. Your team's the one that did that to me. No, it's funny. She always knows. She always has her first allegiance is me, even if she's wearing a different jersey. Yes. But I was fine. You just walk it off. And obviously I got ice bags on my knee. But I'll be fine.
Quickly, Chiney, we know you have to get back into the locker room and get ready to move on to your next destination, but pick it up very quickly from Stanford at the end of your collegiate career and your transition into the WNBA.
Yeah, it's very difficult because the game is faster, they're more physical, they're stronger, the skill level is higher, but you have a team that drafts you that needs you. And so if you play to your strengths, you're able to transition, and then as you play, you have to continue to grow year to year. You see my sister with a three-point shot. That's something I want to try to do, develop an outside game. So that's the intrinsic motivation you have as a player. But I'm just glad to play for Connecticut where we play really hard and we're really young. But you know what? In a few years, I think we'll be one of those contenders.
And of course, the WNBA's 20th year. This is a very momentous season, not only for the league, but of course, certain teams, the Lynx and the Sparks. But right now, overall, 20th year. And 20 years ago, you were thinking about being in WNBA, and now here you are.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of the legends of the game, Lisa Leslie was here for a point, a lot of the legends of the game didn't have a WNBA, so they just played as hard as they could for no gratification. And now we can grow up, and I always knew there was a WNBA, so we have to be caretakers of that legacy. And I'm so proud of the WNBA. 20 seasons now, there's going to be 20 more. My kids are going to want to play in the WNBA, so we just have to do the game right.
Quickly, in the off season, Chiney, your time is very valuable, very precious, but the community, we know you give back because your upbringing, your parents have always taught you to share and give back. What might you be doing back at Connecticut when you're in the off season?
In Connecticut, during the season? Yeah, education is one of my number one pillars. I went to Stanford. I learned a lot about Nerd Nation, and there are a lot of kids that want opportunities. And if they take care of the academics, I always tell them anything is possible. So I always try to get out to the schools, and then also with regard to Africa, my family's from Africa, so we try to do a lot of well-being. Teaching the young people hygiene and also providing better facilities and uniforms for the players out there. So just trying to do as much as I can. The game has given me so much, it's only right that we give it back.
And you will continue to give, Chiney.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Nice to see you as well. Thank you.
Good seeing you. There she is, a rising star here in the WNBA. Keep your eye on that young lady, that player, Chiney Ogwumike. So here we are now in the locker room area of the Staples Center where we're talking with some of the players, and now we're going to try and reach in to talk to Coach Brian Agler in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene.
came in hungry, and I think the hungriest teams in this league are the ones that have success. And I felt like our second half was much better.
What were some changes that you made from the first half to the second half?
I just, we talked a lot about what we have to do, and it wasn't so much of the X's and O's. It's what is how we did the things on the floor, the kind of energy and the things that we were looking for. I think we had a little bit of, I don't want to say tunnel vision, but a tunnel mindset offensively where we'd come down and look for one thing. Well, we didn't recognize what they were doing to us. And so the second half was much better.
Do you think that the 9 o'clock flight back helped in the morning?
I mean, we didn't have a choice. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Everybody goes through it, It's just, I think last week, first of all, to me, we don't make excuses of why. But I think if it was anything other of why we were flat, maybe it's more of emotion of last week coming into this game. Both those games were really emotional games. And you know how emotions, I mean, think about yourselves, how your mindset can really dictate how you feel and how you operate. And but we bounced back in the third quarter, and we'll just get ready for Tuesday.
How did you guys decompress from Friday's high of a win to come back today?
I mean, as soon as Friday's game was over, we started talking about this game, about how we needed to start right now physically preparing, getting your rest, getting hydrated. We knew we had a flight ahead of us and those things. Now, I'm not around them 24/7, so I don't know exactly what happens. But we talk about it, and just like after this game, we talked about this game a little bit. Now we're on and starting to prep for Tuesday's game.
This is a heavy week for you as far as a game every other day. How do you guys physically and mentally get ready?
There won't be any practice. I mean, our practice will consist of watching film, walkthroughs, and shooting. And we have to prep like that. We don't have a choice. I'd much rather, if I'm going to err, I'm going to err on the side of them being as rested as possible than I am to over preparation.
Can you speak to Nneka's play today? She was outstanding.
Nneka was, I mean, we've seen it all year. She's very active, hungry. She's hungry right now. She wants this team to do so well, and she's very team oriented. But I think now she's starting to understand and recognize when our team really needs for her to step up. And tonight's one of those games where we really needed her to step up and make plays, and she did.
Coach, your bench and your reserve players come in big time. Gray, Lavender, everyone you insert for starters contributes. Talk about the consistency and how you want to keep them at that level, so whenever they're called on, they're going to produce.
Yeah, I mean, both Chelsea and Jantel I consider, in our tight rotation. I even consider Jantel a starter just because she started last year and she could start for us. We play a big lineup at times with her on the floor. And Chelsea, did some really good things for us today. She takes a lot of the pressure off Christy because she can come in and play the point. So I thought she hit a couple big shots, made some great passes, and played pretty good defense. So, yeah, those two, really gave us a boost today. And Jantel's second half obviously was much better than the first.
And we're seeing Essence Carson again with the green light to drive to the hoop, hit the jump shots when they're there for her, and she's producing very effectively.
I thought Essence hit some big shots for us down the stretch. She hit a couple threes, and defensively she did a lot better job on Thomas in the second half than she did on the first. And she's been a really an important addition to our team this year. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Brian.